We were talking a second before we went live, so this is just a continuation, no script. I can't tell you how excited I am to have Gretchen Skelka on the show today and really share the good news. And the good news is based on what everybody has been doing, this is really starting to build and grow and start to find its own organic reason for being. And what I've seen in the last week, and that's based on changes made in the last week, is that it's all about you.
Yeah.
And it's all about us bringing value to you. So this is a show where we're not selling anything. We're not even promoting ourselves, except to share what we're experiencing with you. And what we're experiencing with you is people are taking small steps into huge opportunities on LinkedIn Live. Me and Gretchen were just talking this week. Gretchen, Tara, and Jenny Maxwell, Tara Gooch, really built 3 more levels to this structure by demonstrating how important it is that you are the LinkedIn centric audience. Yep. And how you grow is how we've grown, because how I started, someone asked me to be on their LinkedIn Live. And I became a co-host for a few months. And then I decided, hey, I can do this. Mm-hmm. And then when I met Gretchen and I met Tara and I met Jenny, every one of them was where I was months earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
And I knew how they felt, but I also knew how easy and comfortable it is once you do it with a partner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Once you get on somebody else's show, and this show is meant to bring people on. And with that, let me, and because of that, comments are vitally important. I want to introduce Allegre. You have been so phenomenal in your comments, and what you've been able to gain from it, because whatever we say or do is secondary to what you receive. Mm-hmm. And what you receive is something that people can relate to. And if you can do it, they can do it. And, there's something when you factor in abundance, when there's so much abundance, all you got to do is be good enough not to be bad, right? Mm-hmm. There's enough for even the smallest player who was just on the team, right?
It's so true, but you got to warn me when you're going to give one of those lines.
Hey, I was looking at you when I said it. So let me give a break, and let me introduce some people. Hello, Lawrence here. Nice to meet you all. Thank you so much. Trevor, thank you, Trevor, for being here. I know you're going to be on the show next Saturday, so look forward to having you back. Trevor's just an exceptional LinkedIn connection. If you make one Trevor connection, it's worth 10,000 of the everybody connections.
Yeah.
So I say, that's another thing. Use this as a way of picking up more quality connections. Yeah. Start to ramp up conversations that you can have, because the way I look at it, if you invest 30 minutes in here, and at the end of the 30 minutes, you can say, I picked up 5 connections. I made myself known. This show will go to about 300 thought leaders who cherish LinkedIn Live and follow it and support it. Trevor right now will be recognized by those. And I know there's a wonderful lady who mentioned that since she's been watching this for 7 days straight, her profile views went up 1,036%.
Wow.
So people are checking people out. You don't want to be LinkedIn best kept secret. If you're here to be known within less time with more relevant individuals and people who are givers. Givers get. Now with that, let me, I get so caught up in it, but let me finish this and let me give Gretchen an opportunity to introduce herself. Gretchen?
Hi. Hi. My name is Gretchen. I am a career strategist and leadership development coach. And I see so many people here, Melissa, Trevor, everybody that Chastity, that I have learned so much from. And what you were saying about giving and getting, everybody here in these comments that is exactly what they do. And it's true what you said. There is no way, like 3 months ago, I would have been doing this. I got introduced to you on Trevor's show, the Hotness Unleasher show. And you were kind enough to invite me to be a guest on your show. His was the first one I had done. And to do his show, I said, yeah, to the opportunity before I went, oh crap, I don't do video. Wait a minute. I have a big fear about this. I can't do it. But I didn't want to go back on my word. And I really wanted to be a part of it because I've been watching it and it was like really cool. And I had seen so many cool and met so many cool people from it. So I did a project just on for myself and to get over that and be able to do it. And I've done this with you now. I believe this is our 7th time doing this together. So not that I'm keeping track or anything, but the point of that is that what you said before was that, along with Tara and Jenny, I am starting my very first on my own live. And thank you to Trevor, who gave me some really, really nice advice. I'm testing out a couple of things like a new camera position and whatnot, but there's no way I would be doing that if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for Melissa helping me, get down in there and know that voice is worth being heard and get it out there. And I just really think it's so, important to be able to talk about that. So, yeah, I'm just looking at, I know you're not, but you're good one-on-one, Melissa. So
because that's happy Sunday, Gretchen and Don. Well, it's much happier now that you're here. And what you do, Trevor, is really give programs like this validation, right? Because it's really what people think, feel, and experience that drives their choices. And this is a great place where we're going to try to make the best 30 minutes on LinkedIn happen for the people who come here. This is not meant for us, because it works better when it's all about you and us supporting you. And it makes it easier on us to support you than come up with tremendous new insights every day on our own. So it's knowledge share. That's very important. Hi, Lawrence. I'm Allegra. Lovely to meet everyone here. Great. Thank you. Melissa Houston. So happy to have you. Thank you. It makes a difference. Chastity. Good morning. Thank you. It just keeps going, and that's the way it is. Thank you. I love what you're doing. And, that makes it something that we love to do, when it resonates. But more importantly, when leaving here, you are better in different ways that make you apply yourself to things you might have waited a little longer or been more hesitant. Because really, to Gretchen's point, everybody kind of knows what they should do and even knows how to do it, but it's the doing of it. It's taking that first step, making that change. And when you do it with someone else and someone takes you by the hand, you figure, why not? And now this can create an opportunity where you can self-recognize yourself by jumping on the show, and letting the show take you where you want to go. Dre, Carlos, happy Sunday to you all, fam. Well, we're fam. That's great. Nothing like fam. We got Trevor. Oh, that's a major endorsement. Thanks, Don. You bet. It's all helping each other help each other that makes the difference. And, it's more fun along the way with someone or someone's.
I think you learn from other people, too. I mean, just like Melissa said here, that Trevor's show was a big deal for her because she doesn't, video's not really her thing. Although Melissa has a lot to say that a lot of people need to hear. She does a great audio event every Saturday morning that a lot of people attend, and they get a lot of value out of that. And the reason is because it is a full, sort of interactive discussion, just like this, where, you're looking at people. I see Carla just joined. Hello, Carla. And that's great because these are people who, like Allegra and Dennis, everybody has a unique perspective on a host of things. But, today it's about amplifying your LinkedIn voice. And one of the best ways to do that is to show up and be present. Be present in the comments of other people, interacting with other people, connecting with other people, going to live events like this and taking part in them, not just kind of watching them, but take part, because you have a question, you have a concern, you came here for a reason, you saw that live thing pop up and went, that looks pretty interesting. Amplify your LinkedIn voice. I'd like to know more about that. And that's great. That's one of the things that, makes this part of LinkedIn so great. And, you think about it, it blew my mind the other day. I started thinking about it. All of this is available, all this knowledge share and teaching and everything else for free. Like, seriously, you can just be a regular LinkedIn member and you can get all of this. You can participate. There's no barriers to it. And there are so many live events out there that, are like just really great topics. So, like, where's your interest? There's one for that. Whatever it is, there's one for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Melissa.
what's so terrific is this new technology and this new platform, LinkedIn Live, that LinkedIn has provided for free, that is so powerful. They announce who you are to your audience when you go live. Mm-hmm. They post your video as a post after you go live. And this is real time with real people, with real conversation, with real needs they have right now, not something they commented on 3 days ago. And this is your chance to get answers. So you got to, and if you can apply that, let's say, mentality of measurement against your time investment and say, okay, here's what I got out of this 30 minutes. Yeah. How does this compare with 30 other minutes I've been spending or where I could have spent it?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And now you start optimizing to say, hey, I got a measurement that says, how is this? And if something doesn't measure up to this, this is an opportunity for you to be this.
Yeah.
Some people just want to be in the audience, but a lot of people after an audience want to be on the stage and then want to be the person with the mic. So I can't thank people enough. Here's some more comments. Hello from South Africa. Thank you. Trevor says, oh, hey, the hottest Unleasher show is starting and it has 8 guests.
Oh, okay. Good. Season 2. Yeah. Season 2.
And that's the key is, just like comics visit comics and people learn from each other. It's a small community, and it's a really small community of broadcasters. Yeah. Right. And, I look at people as individuals that are one step away or a decision from breaking through, from letting the medium drive you. Like me and Gretchen said, is all we got to do. It's like a river, just go with the flow.
Yes. Do not push the river.
You don't want to fight it. Tamara, thank you. I am a children's book author, illustrator. Well, Poonam's here, and Poonam's here every day. I appreciate it. And, you're doing a service. I think I'm connected. I'm actually writing a children. Maybe you can give me some advice. Well, that's perfect. And that's where networking, that's where helping each other, that's where building strong relationships, because here's what you already have as a pre-qualifier. These people are here the same time you are, doing the same thing you are on this Sunday morning with the hope of doing better, meeting more relevant individuals, having stronger relationships. So that's a great way to reach out to each other, pick up some connections, and continue to, look at us as facilitators for you. So Gretchen,
if you look at this right now, Allegra and Tamara are connecting in the chat because Tamara's a children's book author, Allegra's writing one. They can hook up, like they just met a resource that they can help each other. I think that's freaking beautiful. I mean, how would that have happened before? Are they in each other's network? So when you look through the people who are showing up to these live events, there's an amazing array of people, talent, resources, strengths, skills, smarts, you name it, in the audience at every single live event I go to. And literally just having this conversation, just going live today, you just introduced 2 people to each other who have a very common interest, who can help each other. Like you can't, that's just, that's amazing to me. And it's not difficult. That also is something that I think really should be mentioned is that it's not difficult to just show up. Aye. So I think that's really important too when we're talking about amplifying your LinkedIn voice. Just show up. Show up. Melissa asks this question on almost every audio event that she does, her coffee chats. What are you doing here? What's the purpose of you being here? And Don, that was the topic of my last live with you, was
Mm-hmm.
what is your purpose for being on LinkedIn? And I think it's really important to understand that, but also understand that how you're showing up can help that, or it can absolutely hinder it in every way. And so you want to be intentional about how you're doing that. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I'm watching the chat and I thought that was so cool that the two of them are like, yep, I can help you out with that. So,
Well, what happens is I look at me and Gretchen as igniters. We're here to make people break through, manifest things, create things, and there's so many people like us because we're just like you. Back it up 7, 8 months ago, I wasn't doing LinkedIn lives like I'm doing. I haven't missed one. Every day I have to do one because now I feel it's really hitting its stride and it's just getting going. I could have never planned this,
yeah.
and that's what I did from the beginning is said, hey, try to leave it up to the audience, let them direct you, right? Work for them, do everything possible for them. And what you'll be doing is things that no one else is doing for them,
Yeah.
right? And they'll say to themselves, and most people are just insecure, they have fears. They don't lack ability, they don't lack ambition, they lack motivation to get going and to know it's safe and to know it's real. And here's the thing, if the promise of the dream come true, that you can one day experience financial and time freedom by being part of something on the front end of something huge. Well, Gretchen, speak to that.
I mean, I think that, fear is something that everybody has. I mean, everybody has fear, but then you have to quantify the fear because every negative action and every negative emotion is rooted basically in fear. Like if you get way, way down there and you dig, that's what it is. So, what is it that we're really afraid of? And then you said 7, 8 months ago. 7, 8 months ago, I had never done a live. 5, 6 months ago, I had never done a live. I think 3, 4 months ago, I had never done a live. So, but there was a fear that I had about it, which was, a very specific fear. But it was on me to get over that, and I knew that I had to do that. Nobody could do that for me. And just saying, it's okay, I'm afraid, but I want X. Well, I have to quantify how much I want the thing I want, and do I have enough of that want in me, that desire to go after my fear and just, look it in the face and say, we're not doing this today. Right. So,
Mm-hmm.
because again, a desire without a belief that you can get it is just wishful thinking. That's absolutely all that it is. And wishful thinking gets you nowhere. It's nice. It can, make you have good feelings for a moment, but it gets you nowhere. So that belief in yourself, you can overcome all kinds of things, almost everything, really, if you have that belief, if you have that knowledge in yourself that you can do it. And so, when you're seeing, thank you guys about the lighting. I've been working on this. So I took it to heart. I got some interesting feedback. I don't know what else to call it, but anyway, and I reached out and got some really great advice, and specifically from Trevor. So I really, really, really thank you for that. But yeah, so fear is something that everybody has. There's nobody on the planet who doesn't have fear. The most successful people out there, have a lot of fear that they've had to overcome. Everybody who plays video games knows John Madden, right? I mean, just to take it on a whole different route, John Madden was deathly afraid of flying. He did not fly anywhere, but he was really, really, I mean, obviously very successful. He never really got over that fear of flying. He would try, but that was something that he was famous for, was his fear of flying, not going to do it. So I think that, in that regard, understanding what it is that might be challenging you, and then getting down to it and peeling it away and understanding why it is that you feel that way, understanding what it is that's preventing you from achieving or getting or attaining or doing, just flat out doing, and then figuring out a path to go from there, how to begin to chip away at that. For me, it was, I had to go live every day, but on a platform where nobody knows me, nobody cares what I do. So it's totally safe, and that was great. But then I started showing up for other people's lives because I needed to practice sort of and see what they were doing. But in doing that, I met some of the most amazing people, and they've fundamentally changed how I think about so much. And so I think that's really important. If you're afraid of doing the thing, whatever the thing is, just think about why you want to do it, what it would do for your life, what it would do for you on a personal level, what it is that it's preventing by not doing it. What are you not getting? And then what it would be, right? Because you can plot a path to anything to get that, to have it, to achieve it, to do it, to see it, whatever it is. And there are ways to do that. But, just to make it, very clear, like everybody has fear. Everybody does. It's how you react to it.
Yeah. And, the question is, if you can't do it, could we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or could you and someone else do it? So instead of taking the whole load, everybody should focus on their core competency and passion, and then complement themselves with other people's core competencies and passion. And then everybody wins together. So it's really like a jigsaw puzzle, is putting the right pieces together to form the right picture. And even to Gretchen's learning about her glass reflection, right? That's another exchange. And from here, there'll be 6 or 7 times the audience to this. And so people who are meeting you now, you'll have more people to meet later, and you're meeting people in places that you'd love to stay or be, right? Compared to, it's hard to go, there's a saying, it's better to be in the dark than go to the light and then have to go back to the dark. It would be so difficult for me to go back to my traditional commenting, posting, because it doesn't reach enough, it doesn't impress enough, and you know what? It doesn't share my authentic voice enough, right? If you have a sincere, honest voice, time will promote you, Go ahead,
Yeah.
Gretchen.
I think too, like Carla was just saying in the comments about how, stepping out of your comfort zone. And we hear that a lot. And I think it gets a bad rap because people are like, well, I like my comfort zone because it's comfortable. And yeah, sure. Okay, great. But you have your comfort zone, your zone of excellence, and your zone of genius. And if you're familiar with that, and I know Melissa right now is doing a Venn diagram in her head about those 3 things, because I know Melissa does some Venn diagrams. And this is a good one, right? Your comfort zone, it is comfortable. There's a reason for that. Growth, as Carla said, does not happen in your comfort zone. So what is your zone of excellence? Excellence is a great word. It sounds so good, right? Excellence is where everybody goes, you're so good at that. You're great. Your job, right? You're the one everybody gives the accolades to. You're the one they want to go to. And that's great. And you're comfortable there because you are crushing it. You're getting everything done. Everybody knows you're great. That's looks great on the outside. That's not your zone of genius. That's your zone of excellence. You're doing an excellent job, and that's wonderful, but it's not stretching you. If you're not, stretched, if you're not a little afraid of something going on in your future or on the horizon or potential or opportunity, you're not in your zone of genius. That is where your purpose is. That is where you're going to be. Passion is great. It's momentary though, right? It can be momentum, but purpose is the thing that gets you up every morning, whether you're motivated to do it or not, So that's really important, that whole comfort zone thing. And fear lives in that comfort zone. And every time you don't move out of it, you're like, oh, fear, you're so cute. I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to keep you in this little box where I'm comfortable, and we're never going to have to talk about it. And then a year from now, not even a year, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it is, you're going to be like, oh, I really wish I had done da-da-da-da. Or, oh, I would love to do that, but I can't. You're staying in that comfort zone. Nothing good is going to happen. And and again, it's something that I give a lot of thought to. Is one of the things that people, live with that sticks with them the most is regret. All the things that we wanted to do but didn't, and usually the reason we didn't is because of fear. So yeah, so comfort zone, no, get out of it.
Well, and to really layer on to what you said, and I think it's so important and valuable, is when you're in uncomfortable situations, that create fear, being with comfortable people will balance it, right? You know, so and that's what you look for is not can I do it all by myself? If you can, well, maybe there's some pride in it, but who out there can I help build and be for them what I need for myself, that both of us get to somewhere we couldn't have been without each other. And, you know, I want to thank Victoria for really promoting, sharing this with others, because if it's good for you, it's good for others. If it's really good for you, you're going to get a benefit of being the one who referred somebody, because all the comments I see is I happened to see it, stumbled into it, didn't know what it was, decided to push the button. Now that's going to happen anyways. But, you know, the world wouldn't change a bit if 100,000 people were on next week's broadcast, right? And there's 100,000, there's actually 875 million who are on LinkedIn. Puma is a great guy. Yes, Victoria. Let me go ahead, Gretchen.
Victoria actually had a really good question just now. She says, what do you think about transitioning from not doing your purpose to doing your purpose and making it work for us as a career? And I think that, and I see Melissa's comment about the same old, it'll get you the same old results, and, you know, make yourself do something different. And I think that is what Melissa just said, in a way, answers Victoria's question about what do you think from, you know, transitioning from not doing your purpose. And it's interesting because I can only, you know, I mean, we have examples of that all around. And I would love to know, like, other people, how they did it. I know for me, you know, I'm, you know, it took a while for me to really realize, like, you know, I'm kind of doing it, but not doing it. And so, you know, I have like, you know, my MBTI, and then my, you know, my Enneagram, and all those things kind of all point to the same thing, you know, which is my Clifton strengths. All of them point to what I'm doing now, you know, communication, coaching, collaboration, all those kind of things. But I think for a lot of people is, you know, transitioning from it. We have this, at least I always did until recently. I consider transitioning to be a corner, right? It's these little right angles, and I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to be here. But transitioning is a slow arc. It can be a very, very slow arc. And that's great, because you're still making that progress toward what you ultimately want to do. So when people feel like it's this big, scary thing to do a transition, it's because a lot of times people will make that, you know, hard turn. And that's okay, because a lot of times they plan for that for years ahead. But really, it's a slow arc. You sort of have that little thing in the back of your head, like, you know, what you really are supposed to be doing, not, you know, by title, right? I don't mean like that. I'm supposed to be an XYZ farmer. No, but you know that you're good with plants, and you like being outside, and that feeds your soul and makes you happy, you know, and everybody around you has said you're really good at X, Y, or Z. So you're getting a little bit of information and putting you on that path toward what you're really meant to do, and what your real purpose is. And so you're doing little things throughout your life if you're paying attention to it. But back to Carla's point, if you're staying in that zone in that comfort zone, you're not actively moving into transitioning into it. So for Victoria, she says, you know, she's at an impasse as a single parent working in IT for 20 years, had a successful career, but financially it's so challenging to start over. It is. It absolutely is. And that's something to think about when you're doing it. So, you know, if I could ask you, Victoria, I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, what would be the thing that you're thinking of transitioning into? And forgive me for my nose. It's actually cold for a rare thing here in South Florida today. Yay. But like, what would you want to transition into? I know I'm waiting for her to answer, but because the reason is, you know, the financial aspect is something that stops everybody, because we have this belief that it's not going to be the same. When I left my corporate job, and I was, you know, I was like, you know, Sandra made a post yesterday how she was at the height of her career. She was making great money. You know, all these things were happening for her. And she decided, this isn't it for me. There's something else I need to be doing. And she went and became, you know, what she does now, where she supports women in optimal health and things like that, and teaching them to be their best selves. Well, that was me too. I was at the height of my career. You know, I was making great money, but I knew that was not the place that I needed to be. And so in my head, well, if I'm not doing this, I'm going to be homeless in a week. And I've been homeless, so I know that's no fun. When my house blew up, we were homeless, but I was going to be destitute. I was going to be selling things in the garage to make my mortgage payment and all this stuff because I didn't have the job. Well, it's over a year later. Here I am, still here. So you rise and fall to what you need. Your life, you will make those adjustments so that you can keep going and doing the thing you want to do. There is everything inside of me. And I've talked to people about this before. Win, lose, or draw, I'm in this. This is what I am meant to do. Do I make the money I made in corporate? No. Will I one day? Yeah. Am I yet? No, but I don't care because this is what I am meant to do. Everything in me says that. And it was one of those feelings, Don, I'm not kidding you. People talk about how you have that gut feeling. You just got to know. And I was one of those people who's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Keep talking about it. Then you have it and you're like, holy crap. I need to listen to this. I need to listen to this. And I remember calling my husband and I was talking to Julie McVeigh about this on a call the other day. And I told him that day, would we be okay if I quit my job? Are we going to make it? Don't let the financial worry stop you, because if you do that, you'll still have the same desire and the same question, the same fear a year, a month, 10 from now. That leads to regret. There's a path in there. There's a plan. There's a way to achieve it. It's just sitting down and really thinking about it and going through all those things. But yes, do not stop yourself. Yes, Bronnie Ware, she was a palliative care nurse for a lot of years. And she wrote a book called The 5 Biggest Regrets of the Dying because she had surveyed people throughout her career. They've done studies on this and it's absolutely true. The number one regret that people have is living a life that wasn't their choosing. Someone else's expectations. You can stop that. You can break out of that. And yes, Melissa, with the Venn diagram, I know you were out there doing that, but don't let the Victoria, please do not let the financial aspect stop you. It can actually work in your favor. So, think about, but you got to lay it out. You got to create that vision for yourself, but don't let that be the thing that stops you, because there's always money to be made. We have this sort of very traditional linear view of how money can be made and how it can be accrued. And it's actually not true. It's not this one linear path. I mean, Aya is all about multiple revenue streams. If you get to know her as a business catalyst, she will help educate you on those things. But there are ways to do this where you will not put yourself out on the street. You will not put yourself in a position of destitution. You can do this. You've had a career in IT, Victoria. You're smart as a whip. Come on, put those brains to work for you in a good way, the way that you want to do, and it will work for you.
Yeah, and the thing is programs like this bring you newness, freshness, relevancy. There's a saying, it's easier to give birth than raise the dead. And too many people go back and try to get things to do things they didn't do from even in the past, when right in front of them, there's another saying, people step over dollars to pick up pennies.
Yes.
Right? And there's so many things right in front of you. Yes. And what I do every day is I check who viewed my profile first thing, because those are the people most interested in me in the last, let's say, 12 hours. Then I see how many people commented, how many people shared. It's like, here's the community. How can we help each other? Because the idea is to get out of the big boat where there's all this chaos on the LinkedIn deck and get to the lifeboat with selected people you choose to work with, and you get away from the noise. And more importantly, programs like this, you meet by plan instead of by accident, right? And you meet with purpose instead of without curiosity. Mm-hmm. And the thing is everybody's one person, one thought away from breakthrough. And if you broke through, it would benefit everybody that helped you, because then they would get validation and gratification. I mean, when somebody introduces a couple to each other and they have a fabulous marriage and they're happy forever, right? They feel proud, and they know there's two people who know it was because of them.
I have to laugh because that's my husband, his best friend in the world, Mark Zahn, and I'm streaming this on my YouTube and my Facebook. But if anybody there is watching, I think I'm friends with Mark. Steve always, his claim to fame, he introduced Mark and Anna, his wife, and he has never forgotten that. They've been married forever. And I think that's wonderful. But you're right. When you bring people together, connecting them in any way, like this show is doing right now, I'm watching this, people in the comments are connecting with each other to help each other out. That's, and it's really important. I mean, you have business experts, you have, personal growth experts, you have health and wellness experts, you have so many people in this chat who are really, really like those are thought leaders. Like they're right there for you, Yeah. 5 daughters after my divorce. I had nothing but suit. Yeah. Change is difficult. Absolutely. It is. It will discover your strengths. One of the things, yes, and that's a really good point, Allegra. I don't know if you've ever done the Clifton Strengths model, but it's really interesting because it gives you kind of a window into, yourself, whereas the other ones that I mentioned, like the Enneagram is fun and it doesn't tell you what you should do. It tells you a little bit about why your behaviors are the way they are. And then if you match all that up with your MBTI and your saboteur assessment, which I've done for myself, and I did it and I was like, holy crap, this is why I'm supposed to do this. I mean, it's just, it all makes sense, but change is scary. Change is hard. Nobody goes into change going, yay, change. I mean, we loathe it. It's like going to the dentist or going to get your car repaired. It's going to be painful in some way, at least we think it is, and expensive to ourselves emotionally or financially or whatever it is. That change, the finance part of it is what stops most people, right? I won't be able to maintain my way of life, do this, that, and the other if I'm not doing this. Well, how do you know? I didn't know. But I knew that wasn't the thing for me. And it's not a knock against the company I worked for. And it's not a knock against anything else. It's just, I knew that the time for that had come to a close. It was time for me to do something else. The thing that I had been working toward, but didn't have a name for it until I just, did it. Again, I've been working to support people, coaching, helping them, consulting with people to do things differently in their careers and personal lives since 2009. But I never did it like this. But everything about me was like, you have to do this. You have to step away from everything that the systems that are in place, the safeguards, all those things that are there, and you have to go off on your own. And it is challenging. Let me tell you that there are eye openers. The healthcare marketplace was a different thing when you're used to your corporate, healthcare, and you go into that. That's a very eye-opening experience. But again, here I am, more than a year later, still here.
Yeah, but it proves, and it should prove, that if I can do it, if Gretchen can do it, anybody can do it, because we're working with something that's already been built and provided to us.
Yeah.
It's like jumping into a big machine, right? And just learning how it works and how it can work for other people and how you can get people in. And, I think that the lonely part, see, I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I had a job when I was 15 and never worked for anybody again. So you can't, I created
wow.
I just created what I wanted, and I worked hard to get it. And I had to deal with family and friends who told me, you just got a college education and now you're going off and being this, and it just, sometimes adversity makes you stronger. Sometimes it makes you weaker. And you got to ask yourself, are you ahead of the curve or behind the curve?
But with that too, adversity can do that. But again, and everybody's heard this, and and we all know, and we all cliche, whatever, it's a sign that we put in our office or on our wall, but what we can control is how we react to things, how we take them and do from them. And that sounds very trite until your back's against it, until you have, like, stuff is happening. You've got to figure out a way. You got to punch and fight your way out of it. And you figure out how to make that control work for you. Adversity is out there. I am, it's no secret. I have, MS. I've had all kinds of bad things happen. Adversity is out there. How you react to it and take it and make it your thing. Mm-hmm. That is what you have control of. And it can take a lifetime to get to be able to do that. And that's okay. Oh, so Victoria, public speaking, writing, coaching, teaching, photography. Great. So the first part of that, public speaking, you could do a LinkedIn Live and start that and get that going for yourself. Photography, writing, you can use your LinkedIn profile. You can, have some of your own photography in your banner where you can showcase your work. That featured section, you could put your work in there, your portfolio link, all those kind of things. You can do that there. You can have a little 29-second, I know it's 30, but they'll cut you off. So 29 seconds, a video behind your profile badge on LinkedIn where you can show yourself doing a craft and or some, doing, photography work or something like that, setting up your camera. I can always use help with that because I'm very much a novice at that. But you could definitely do those things. Show yourself doing public speaking, whatever it is. Teaching can be all kinds of things. I mean, teaching somebody to do something that you know how to do. The done for you services are out there, but when you teach somebody how to do something, you are empowering them to then take it and make something of it. And I think you're already, you're probably a lot closer than you think to doing those things. And you can go ahead and begin to, showcase those. And it does not, there's no capital outlay in that. You can go ahead and do that now. Right. And so that is something that's really important to understand is when you stop thinking about all the things that you're afraid of that could happen, might happen, and all this, instead focus on what you want to do like you just did. And then start to look at all the things that you're already doing that are kind of aligning with that. And then think about them differently. Public speaking could be LinkedIn Live. Public speaking can be, having a forum where you're talking to somebody. Public speaking can be going and talking to, having a breakfast chat with somebody. There's all kinds of different ways that the teaching is public speaking, So when you think about that, you could just marry the two of those up right away and get that together. You could do a webinar. You could do, a course where you're walking somebody through what you know how to do, how to set the resolution on your camera or whatever, but you could do those things and teach people how to do that. So I think it's really important to think about it from that perspective that you're probably a lot closer to doing a lot of those things than because you are in fact already doing those things. So I think
and the more I see these comments, the more I see these interactions, the more I see the power of people helping each other when it's convenient, easy, right in front of them. People are open to it. Build on rock, not on sand. Build with the people who can be your rock, going forward, because you've got to lean into people sometimes and they need to lean into you. And collectively doing little things right over time, multiplied by multiple people. The reason I want to expand this program is the more people that benefit, that by itself is valuable.
Yeah.
The more people now can get recognized and promoted, and by association appear in places and in front of people they couldn't without this. And LinkedIn is an either and game. You don't have to choose between things. You just complement things with, what you already have, and then redirect time and interest when the payoff starts getting better in other areas. So, lay a bunch, diversify your bets of time, diversify your bets of people, but measure each situation on its own. And, the key is people always seem to need more, but you don't always get what you need. You typically get what you deserve, right? And what you create is what you can build on. And, I always had the feeling that if it's going to be, it's up to me. And, not waiting. I hate waiting. And what I see that lacks so much is a sense of urgency, because no one gets out of here alive anyways, right? I mean, so why not play when you can play? Why not play as hard? Stretch yourself. If you want pain, do it because you tried to do too much with too little too soon, as opposed to, there's a saying, start before you're ready, because you're never going to be really ready. So Gretchen?
Yeah, I think that's true. And I also think that, so for Victoria, being concerned about the reputation, don't be. The thing that I've learned, and I've learned it at some cost, but it's very, very true, is that, because at some cost, meaning I spent a lot of years worrying about that very, very much. What would people think if I blew? And the thing is people really aren't that concerned with you. They're concerned with them, right? And that's not a knock on anybody or me, but people are concerned with themselves. It's one of the reasons why when I'm talking to somebody, when I first, thought about, having my own business, I was like, okay, well, everybody wants, I need to tell this, that, and the other, but really people want to know about themselves. So don't worry about what other people are thinking. Do what you need to do. Plus, it's not like it's, LinkedIn Live and I don't, it's not OnlyFans, it's LinkedIn Live. So it's a professional thing. It's something where you can go and you can talk about something that people want to hear. If people show up to your live, they want to hear what you have to say. They want to engage with you. All the people here, and I'm pretty sure that the LinkedIn user is Carrie. I don't see, but I saw a joke earlier, but I'm pretty sure that's Carrie. It just says LinkedIn user, but it's true that positive reinforcement, the confusing part of how it works. I didn't see that. But in terms of, being worried about what other people are thinking, that again goes back to that regret of living life on someone else's terms. Who cares what they think? Who cares what I think? It matters to me when I think about me, and I value everyone's opinion. But at the end of the day, I have to make the decisions for me that work for me and my family, because nobody but me is waking up and looking at me in the mirror every day. It's me. The people who have opinions about me, they're not paying my bills. They're not calling me when I'm sick. They're not, that kind of thing. Me, I'm doing that. So it's important that I get very rooted and grounded in what it is that I want. Because when I'm happy, when you're happy and you're doing what you do, you radiate that out. You give so much back to everybody. It's beautiful. So it's like I told Sandra this morning, I saw her post, about, where she is, and it took her a while, she left like at the height of her career. She's exactly where she's supposed to be. If you look at her post, she radiates positivity and confidence, and like, just, she's where she's supposed to be. Everybody in this chat with you go and look at if you're not connected with them, get to know them, start to interact with them. They will fill you up. They will help you see everything that you already are and how to bring it out and make it shine and make it work for you, which is really the thing, right?
Yeah, for sure. And to Victoria's point, everything in life has a park, a reverse gear too, and a neutral, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to back up. Sometimes you got to just pause and kind of get your directions right.
Yeah.
And today is the day. No matter who you are, what you are, where you've been, the past should never have to define your future. People around you should never define you. And like I say, no one's ever built a statue for a critic. And I don't take advice from anybody who isn't doing what I'm doing, that they're judging. And I don't really care, because it's not important to anything but what Gretchen said, that you feel good about it. You feel like, here's the beauty. If you're involved in things bigger than yourself, you don't think of yourself so much. You don't compete as much. If you're there for a purpose, if you're there for a mission, if you can do something important in your life that will live beyond you, that will continue to spread because of you, and you're not doing it for credit or financial gain, because what will happen? Your value will be felt deeper and richer than most people who are out there superficially doing what they're doing on LinkedIn. And that's what you want to do, is say, to Gretchen's point, the 10, 12 people today, if you were to start your connections fresh with them and your attention, and let everything in the past kind of settle and resonate, you've already worked it, you've already had an opportunity with it, leave it alone, let it find you, but now create these opportunities, because everybody here looks to be at the starting point, no matter where they are, whether you've got 100,000 connections or one. And I would say, if you're new, it's better here, so you don't have to unlearn a lot of things, undo a lot of things, redirect time from it. And LinkedIn is so powerful that no one knows the power of LinkedIn Live. I've been doing it every day for 70 days. Yes, last week I started doing it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I was starting to fill my spots. But I want to be where I can do the most good, help the most people, and really hear their stories. And if people want to get on LinkedIn Live, get hold of me. You know, I'm thinking about bringing guests on. I've got an open mic show I'm doing Friday with Tara
Tara,
who
that's gonna
knows.
be fun.
And Jenny has taught me so much, Jenny Maxwell, and
Yeah.
they're part of the core that started with me. And you know, you want to get at the front end of something and ride the biggest wave that you can. I mean, it's so exhilarating to get on top of something that is a definite tailwind to you. You know, how many people have tragedy and distress? I know everybody does. And I believe in the saying, it's not how many times you fall down, it's how fast you get up.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to get back in the game. And there's people who love you. There really are. People don't give enough other people credit because they don't fully appreciate or maybe understand. But this gives a chance for people to see you and to see the real you. And the more you can open up, the more you can receive, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think this has been probably the best as far as interaction. And it is because that was our intention. And our goal was to develop this. But don't let it stop at the end of the show. You know, share this with others. If you want to be on the show, message me. I'm happy to have a Zoom with anybody, you know, because I learned so much.
Yeah.
Go
I was
ahead,
going to
Gretchen.
say too, Victoria. So if you want to reach out, I know Melissa also said, you know, you can chat with her. I can give you a couple actionable things for like your profile and stuff, but definitely reach out. You know, everybody, if you're not connected, this chat group is like, you know, there are some heavy hitters in here. So there's definitely some really, you know, people who have the knowledge and can help you out. So reach out. I would just say when it comes to getting over your fear of live, the way I did it, just really quickly, find a platform where nobody knows you. Seriously, this is what I did. I have a platform. I'm on Facebook just because I have a business page. Nobody knows me. Nobody cares what I do on Facebook. Hi, people on Facebook, if you're watching. But you know, so I went live there because I knew that there was a safety net there, and I got comfortable with it. And when I knew I was comfortable there, then I was ready to go pro and bring it to LinkedIn. And that has really helped. I'll be honest, I'm not good at it, but I'm getting better at it. And that's the point. So if you let that worry hold you back, you'll never take that step. And so again, that's where you next month, next year, whatever, that's where you'll be, you know, oh, I wish I had. If I had done it then, I would have like 500 videos now or whatever it is. Don't think that way. Just go do it. Sign up for Facebook if you're not on it. Sign up for any platform that has video if you're not on it. Sign up. You have no following. Get going. There's nobody that can criticize you.
Yeah,
just start doing it.
Look at Gretchen go now that she's a
right.
My whiz.
Y'all are gonna be sorry you did this to me.
Yeah, Mike is. Want to share Mike? Mike came on yesterday. I was sharing that with Gretchen before we got on the show, and became a guest on the show that he first attended for the first time. Worked out great. We had about an hour and a half Zoom call right after, and there's opportunities now to build together. So it just shows you how quickly things can work. So many people have been waiting for so long, they think everything takes so long. Yeah. Some things change in a second, and it could be that one person, that one thought, that one motivation to get you off a center. But thanks so much, Mike. Mike's a great guy. Honestly, he's somebody you should put in your connection list and reach out because he's into so many cool things. And he's in love with LinkedIn Live in 24 hours. So I'm able to convert a lot faster. Thank you, Mike. Look, we can set up a meet. See, you know, we want to be the starting gun, you know. Yep. Mike Lauer, thanks. Yeah, reach these people who are showing up, show up. Love that. Now it's not about how fast, it's about how quick you get up. Yep. You know, and it's just putting that in your mind. That might be the thing that pushes you over the other side where you pick up that momentum. Yeah. Victoria, I can't thank you enough today.
Yeah.
Allegra, I mean, you've been outstanding.
Yeah, she's like on fire. I know.
You're starting to show what you got and do it in a great, supportive, collaborative way. Love emojis. They're so colorful. not enough hours in a day. And that's why it's so important where you put your hours in the day, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to go put your head on the pillow and be proud and happy. And not only that, be excited how you can roll it in tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, really pump up, you know, and lean in. You never know, you're just so close to a breakthrough. Put that extra burst of energy. Allegra, you're the only one. That's right. You know, and if you believe that, it gives you hope. And hope will
Yes.
give you another day that you might not have had without it. Another thing this group can do is give you support. I know there's a lot of people in situations that are dealing with negative support, are having to go against the wind, and it's hard when you got to
Yeah.
fight at home and fight at work. So, you know, get with people who are there for you and were there for you before they even knew you, that
Yeah.
their intents were so good. We've
Yeah.
got Mohammed, great one, sir. Greetings all. Well, you know, spread the word. Like I say, if it's good for you, it's good for others like you. And why not be the front end of something? Because if this breaks through, you're right there.
Yeah.
And now it's time, like Gretchen said, learn it before anybody knows you. You're not going to disappoint anybody. And you would have never done it anyways.
Well, I will say this, you know, when you, like everybody has said, you know, just do it, just take a step, because every time you do that and you prove to yourself, I did it, you build your can-do muscle, right? That can-do muscle. When that can-do muscle gets big, that's your confidence, right? When you are, confidence is a key that opens doors, and because it lets you be the thing, the person that you are meant to be without all the stuff that's holding you back. So, you know, just do little, if it's little steps, take little steps. I did it. I didn't think I could, but I did it. You know, that can-do muscle gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and soon you're ripped with confidence. So, I mean, it's like, just, you know, I did it. I can do it.
Well, and plus when you're around other people who are doing it,
Yep.
it makes it so much, well, if they can do it, I can do it. If everybody's doing it, then why aren't I doing it? So
Yes.
you're measuring yourself against one, now you're measuring against all. And then, you know, the beauty of it is, if you need another hand up, there's more hands that will give you that hand up. If you show the initiative, if you show you're trying, because everybody was where you were at one point in their life. You know, there's a saying, you're coming in this world with nothing, the worst you can do is break even, you know? So, you know, don't worry about what not. And, you know, just look at, you can always go back to yesterday, tomorrow. You know, anything you try new today, you know, it doesn't burn the bridge. So, you know, in closing.
Yes, Victoria. Yes. I just want to mention, I saw her question. Yes, absolutely. No problem.
Yeah, and you know, the funny thing is, which is the real thing, is we are exactly how we are here. And the reason why LinkedIn Lives are not pressure is I don't plan anything. I don't do any homework after it. There's no editing that can be done. And, you know, it's just people enjoying people and knowing that they trust themselves to feel what people are trying to send and share with them.
Yeah.
And, you know, having a safe place, a happy home, a family that you chose, and now you can build with, you know, but whatever it is and whatever it was got you to today, good or bad. But you wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for everything that got you here.
Yeah.
Now it's your responsibility to make your own future, right? And, you know, they say, you know, throw away your rear view mirror because, you know, unless you want to go back, don't look back, you know? And so in closing, I don't even know if I can close. There's so many questions. Gretchen said yes to that. Carla, thank you for coming. I know you're involved in so many other things with so many other people.
Yes,
you know,
Carla. Oh, Carla.
What you ultimately want to be, and I think me and Gretchen are moving towards that, is super connectors. You know, bringing more people together with more people, bringing more people together with relevant information, and allowing them to duplicate our efforts through them, right? It's no fun if you're only one at the top when you win, right? It gets lonely at the top. So you want to bring as many people with you and really help so many people's lives, because nothing is singular or superficial. What happens to you happens to everybody around you.
And that's a really important point, is that, no matter how afraid you are of anything, you have something to say that somebody else out there needs to hear. They've got to hear what you have to say, your experience, your knowledge, or whatever it is. You have something someone else needs. So staying in that fear place and not doing it, it's a gift you're not able to give somebody else. So you're putting yourself in a position to be able to give someone something that they need when you're able to overcome those challenges. It's good for everybody. I mean, it's a win-win. It just is. Yeah.
Well, Mike, I can't appreciate just in 24 hours. Mike gets it. He's going to invite his friends, because why not have your friends with you when you're learning? Have your friends support you wherever you are.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is, when you start bringing people on, you start bringing people up. And eventually they'll be guests on your show, and eventually you'll be guests on their show, because I've been on Tara's show. I look forward to be on Gretchen's show. So everybody kind of builds together. So, thank you, Mike, so much. Poonam says, well, people know Poonam. Poonam's getting known.
Lauren, hi, Lauren.
He's here every day. Mike says, super. Powerful. And the power comes from you. Me and Gretchen kick the ball in, and then wherever it goes, we follow it with whoever's playing with it. And being seen and knowing that it's never as bad as you think once you get into it.
That is the third mantra I say, or affirmation I say every morning, is everything works out better than I expect, and it always does. Always, always, always. Yes.
Well, and you're the judge of at what point in the day are you successful, and why not have the lowest bar possible for you to be super excited by yourself? I get excited just waking up every day.
Yeah.
To me, it's another ticket on the roller coaster of life, and no one promises anybody tomorrow, and
Yep.
Why not make your day and make your day for others? Because that makes it seems like there's a saying, leave the log pile bigger than you found it, right? And that's my motto. When I leave somebody, I hope I left them a little bit better than they found me. And you pick up that vibe back and forth, where doing good makes you feel good. Giving allows you to get in your own time and place. Gretchen?
Yeah. No, I was just saying, I think it's really important, is just giving as much as you can. There's something there's a nugget somebody's going to get. They may not want the whole meal, but they're going to get something out of it. So just give it, give it, give it. And yes, Victoria, I'm connecting with you. Yes. I'm going to send you a request.
I think that's what LinkedIn Live gives you, is the capacity to do so much for so many in so little time with so little effort.
Yeah.
And it works. And we're demonstrating that and proving that today. And I'm doing this every day. I can't imagine in 70 days from now, after doubling what I've done, I mean, this is going to be a tight, lean, mean racing machine. Right now we're working with clay, but eventually it'll go to the garage and then on the track. And unless someone wants to do what we're doing, how we're doing it, with who we're doing it with, and the culture we're building, this is not something you can replicate. It's not like taking your byline or something and sharing it. But I think what this is going to lend itself to is more, we talked about maybe group panel events that we can schedule and get some of these people on and show them. Because this is your first step onto the stage. Now, how fast you want to move, how big of a step you want to take, but it's there for you. And people are there for you. And this is, it's a ground floor opportunity, but it's not ground floor, because I know Gretchen's experience, my experience, all rolls into this. This is the best I got from what I've done, plus what I've and I can't wait to share it, because there's relevancy and reason for being when you do that. So in closing, I know this is probably the longest, but it was extended by so many wonderful people sharing so many wonderful thoughts and experiences. And here's one more thing. When you express something and you let it out, it never has as much control over you.
True.
So
Yeah.
by coming on a show like this and saying, okay, here's where I'm at, there's no sense fooling anybody or myself. Has anybody got something to say that can help me? Because everybody walked into this program with a question on their mind, and hopefully it was about LinkedIn Live and some can be helped. This is an opportunity to say, hey, 20 people, 30 people, 200 people, anybody can help me here, right? Make this an exchange of value. You know, after everybody gets to know you and introduce yourself, it's like, okay, where's the essence? Where can we help you the most? So, gosh, we just get so many comments and so many thank yous to Gretchen from Victoria. And, you know, a lot of people have found a new friend and a new good friend today. And, you know, that's so important, is to put so many people who never had the opportunity, never had the recognition, never had the appreciation.
Yeah.
You know how important just a compliment is to somebody every day. If you just said, boy, I like your hairstyle, if it was just as superficial as that. But more importantly, I love your profile. I love your last post. You know,
Yeah.
you're going to go right to the top of the line as top of mind awareness. And you know what you're going to think? Thank you. Maybe I was right. Right? Maybe people do like what I do, and just
Yeah.
not enough people see me and get to know me. And getting
Yeah.
to know people is important. So I'll finish off with these comments. You can keep commenting on the post that follows. What I also do is tag everyone who gets involved, so you're going to get all that exposure. And, you know, everything I can do, I try to do as fast and as good and as big as I can. And hopefully you see it, that a guy like me can do it, you can do it. Believe me. And I know it's something, but it's true, because it's one step at a time. You know, and I always say, just breathe, just come to a place of balance, and then take your next step, you know, and be the most forgiving you can to yourself.
Yep.
Be your best friend. Sometimes you are all you have. And at the end of the day, you come back to yourself anyways.
Yep.
Oh, thanks for sharing, Gretchen. Victoria's got nothing but claps and excitement. Thank you, everyone. This was really a beautiful experience. And, you know, that's so encapsulates what I was hoping to do, is build beautiful experiences, build where there's a bunch of heartfelt interest. And it shows you the capacity everybody has if they're allowed to apply it in the right forum and the right medium. So I'll be back tomorrow. Gretchen, you're coming back tomorrow.
I am coming back with you tomorrow. Yeah. And then I'm doing mine on Tuesday. So it's like
I mean,
live all the time.
Gretchen's picking up steam. You know, pretty soon will be like a freight train going down a hill without brakes. Watch out, you know, get on the train, not in front of it. So thank you all very much. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, all these wonderful people who are hopefully just get more wonderful with other wonderful people together. And that's our wish, and appreciation to all. Share this with others if you're of the mood, because then it'll get more attention, but more attention to you too and all of us. So let's work together. Thank you. Love you all, and see you tomorrow. Bye.